Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and once again it is time for my client Alex's Dadbod to Daddy training vlog. For those who are not following, we run a full body workout for him 3 days a week. We alternate an A and B workout. This week started with a B workout, and we need to be clear, he is one of my most busy clients that I have. Okay, insanely busy between his career, his family, his other passions, like he's a phenomenal guitarist, actually has a band also. They do a few gigs, full-time career, father of 2 kids. Like he's a busy dude. We don't even always get all 3 workouts in. So when we come to his training, our goal is to be efficient, right? We just want him to have the best dad bod playing the guitar up there with the dudes. We want him to have, the best dad bod and be the fittest that he can, strongest that he can, to be a father, to be hanging out, barbecuing by the pool and whatever. So again, we want to look thick in shorts and a t-shirt. We want to be fit. We want to be strong, right? The things that people want, and the stuff that I tell guys, let's set aside a lot of younger guys who are chasing just a physique and think about in terms of quality of life. And just, again, the reason I say dad bod with some of this is think about it this way. No one wants a weak husband. No one wants a weak father. No one wants a weak brother, weak son. Okay. So get strong. And in his case, we can squat 405. He can bench about 250 right now. The benching's improving. He can do weighted pull-ups, right? We can deadlift mid 400s. All right, so that's the point. So it's just about him being strong, having a decent amount of muscle, and just being generally healthy. Eats a pretty healthy diet, right? But we're not necessarily obsessed with having a phenomenal physique. He's not really done much in the way of dedicated cutting, even though his waist is smaller. We've recompositioned quite a bit in the gaining that muscle, because I did some before and afters at one point, and he had gained 3 pounds, but he's like, my waist is down 3 inches, but the scale is up 3 pounds in a year and a half of working with you. In addition to putting 100 pounds on his squat and deadlift. All right. So there's our context, so in this case, it's saying, hey, we're not chasing perfection. We just want to be strong and fit. So if you start looking at the workouts, it's about efficiency. He's got about 45 minutes. He can squeeze it in 3 days a week. He's built a home gym just so that he doesn't deal with commute time. He doesn't have excuses to not work out. He's like, I got everything right there in the garage. I can go in and get my workouts done. But we've got to be efficient. So if you look at workout A here, which we're starting at this point in the middle of the vlog, we started with a B, and I'll go over that in the latter half again. All right, workout A. We do squats, bench, pull-ups, barbell curls. Now, people will laugh. They're like, are we really doing a barbell curl with this? Yeah. You know why? Because he's in a t-shirt a lot. And you know what? A barbell curl, strict barbell curl, is still a big exercise. It still builds stuff like your upper back and shoulders and things. It counts. Now, before people say, well, where's the shoulder? Well, the shoulder works in workout B, right? We incline and overhead press. Okay. But workout A, we do 3 sets of squats. We're at about that 4 to 6 rep range. Do 3 sets of bench press, 3 sets of weighted pull-ups. Some of the stuff gets up to about 8 or 9 reps, and then we adjust weight. I run a lot of double progression, but his sets are not always consistent through the workout. He doesn't have a lot of time, so we're not taking 5-minute breaks here. So yeah, we might start on weighted pull-ups with 9, 8, 7, and then reach failure, or even 6 on the last one. But the thing is, we're not losing more than 2 or 3 reps, and that's kind of the point. So we do weighted pull-ups, and he's got like 30 pounds there. And so let's talk about that from just an overall health and fitness perspective. He's not a ripped dude. We squat heavy, and yet he can still do weighted pull-ups. Okay? He can do about 8 reps on average with 30 pounds on a weighted pull-up, right? Overhand grip pull-ups. So he's got good upper body strength, right? And that's what we want. We want to be able to do weighted body weight type movements where we're strong at squats, we're strong at weighted pull-ups, okay? But we do some curls because same thing, he's in a t-shirt a lot. He's in a t-shirt a lot. And at the end of the day, having a little bit of bicep is not going to be a bad thing. I'm not worried about direct tricep work for him because we do so much pressing right now. And for him, it's biceps a little more of a priority with that. But we do a lot of pressing. So we bench on that day, and then workout B, we would do 3 sets of incline and 3 sets of overhead. So we get a lot of shoulder and tricep there. Again, thinking in terms of efficiency, and that's what we're looking at, right? We're looking in terms of efficiency. So his workout B is what you see here. What do we have? We do 1 all-out set of deadlifts. We wanted about 1 rep in reserve. I just want him to go hard without his form degrading. Right? We want the last rep to be heavy. So he did 390 for a triple there. Okay? But he deadlifts like 430, 435. I think that's where our best single is. Okay? So we do 1 set of deadlifts. We do 3 sets of incline bench. Okay? We need chest and shoulders here. And again, the incline carries over to his flat bench. I'm going to eventually get his flat bench to 300. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. But, obviously his benching is his weakest lift of his big lifts. Everyone's like, well, he's good at pull-ups, he's good at squats, he's good at... But realistically, it's not like he's weak on bench. It's just that it is his weakest link. So that being said, even then, he's like 180-something pounds. A 250 bench isn't bad. Not bad at all. We got plenty of guys out here just want to reach that 225. I'll eventually, give me enough years, I'll get him to 300. But it's going to take a lot of work. So what do we do there? We incline bench, which we'll carry over to that. We get shoulder, we get chest, we get tricep out of it. We do barbell rows on this day. Okay? So we alternate all his movements, really. We don't have a lot of overlap between his 2 full bodies, unlike mine and some of my other guys. So a lot of my Dadbod guys, I alternate. Right? We have a squat day and a deadlift day. And we'll do different presses on those days. Oftentimes different pulls. Some of them will pull up on all of them. Some of them will pull up or chin up. Some of them pull up in a row. Depends on what we need. But in his case, I'm alternating them because he's good at pull-ups already. And so then the rows gives us a little better carryover to the posterior chain. And it's just to avoid overuse because he's actually pretty good at pull-ups. I don't want to get a lot of overuse on the shoulders. So I'm not always having him do pull-ups on the days with all the overhead work. Again, trying not to beat the shoulders up too much because, again, it's a guy who's busy guy, right? We have limited recovery, limited time. So, again, I do think in terms a little bit with overuse for him when we think about this stuff. So what do we do here? We row, then we overhead press, and then we do reverse hypers. And the reverse hypers is really based upon what he has for time left. It's like we want to get at least 1 set, and if he has the time at the end of that workout, we try to get all 5 sets. And that keeps his lower back strong because you can keep in mind, he's not a spring chicken. He's a busy dad, right? He's almost 40 years old. We're real close. We're closing in on it. So keeping that low back healthy, keeping those hips healthy, keeping all that posterior chain healthy is kind of a big deal. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.